check this out. I had just enough leftover laminate from the bathroom to do the entryway here. I think I'm just gonna leave it. At first I was just kind of curious, like what it would look like or even how much I had. I think I'm gonna leave it. I mean, at least if my feet are muddy or wet, I can track it in here and not get it all over the plywood and get it wet. So that kind of works. But anyway, here we go. Let's get back to my first piece of drywall. And I spent all morning trying to find my little drywall tool that countersinks your drywall screws. Man, I looked around for probably a good 3 hours trying to find this stupid thing. And I was looking in my spare bedroom, which you all know is kind of like my shed. It wasn't in there, it was in my car. So at least I spent 3 hours separating the screws and nuts and bolts and all that fun stuff. So good times. Right now I just want to get it anchored down. Perfect. Now this is going down here. And it's official. First piece of drywall. And I tell you what, it don't look too bad. I'm kind of glad I went with the drywall thing. Let's get the second piece up. Okay, now here's the second half of the drywall. And I have to cut it. I've measured it from here to the ceiling. Well, about a ½ inch from the ceiling. It's 35.5 inches, so I need to have marked some lines, as you can see here. One over there. I'm going to mark it and cut this about a foot, a little bit more than a foot off of it, and then slide that piece up on top of that other piece of drywall. Now I got my little short wall here finished. Give you guys a good look. Everything worked out pretty good. I just got that 2x4 down there to keep the door handle from beating in the drywall. Now I ran into a couple issues with the ceiling. First thing, I left about a ½ inch gap in between the drywall and this crappy ceiling tile because I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to take it out or if I'm going to put my new ceiling over top of it. And also got to looking and I noticed my ceiling has a sag in it. Okay, that proposes a problem because the sag goes into about that first light. That's how far it kind of reaches in. So before I get to doing the ceiling, I'm going to have to remedy this because I'm not going to be able to, I don't want to have all this sagginess out here. Okay, that's why I was struggling trying to figure out if my wall was squares, because it wasn't the wall that was the problem, it was the ceiling kind of sagging in the center. So at some point in time, I'm going to have to take all this apart and all this off and look to see if it's actually the ceiling joists that are sagging or if it's just where the ceiling at one time had water damage, if the tile itself isn't just swollen. Okay, so that's another thing to do. I'm so excited. But as you can see, I got my end of my wall drywalled. Now I wasn't worried about having that seam part here on new sheets of drywall. I don't know if some of y'all may know, some of y'all might know, but there's a joint seam to where these two seams are supposed to go together, and it makes kind of like a little ditch where you can put your either your cloth or your drywall tape, and you mud it and you sand it. It makes a real nice flat surface. Here I wasn't worried about it because I'm going to end up doing like the 1x4 or 1x3 pine boards as my trim and just paint them. So I probably won't even finish this end, but never do know. But regardless, okay, so here I'm working on this side. I went ahead and decided to go ahead and just do the drywall in the pantry. I'm going to come up short on the end here, but that's okay. Story of my life. You can see I've got one new box in for my new outlets that I'm going to install. And then what I'm doing right here is just adding one of these old 2x, because these boxes, electrical boxes, I'm sure I showed you on the bathroom, they go over your 2x like that. and they got these little spikes that drive in, and then you nail them. Let me see if I can't get that to stay. It goes like that, and then you shoot your screw hole in, a screw hole there. But what I need to do is I don't want my outlets like this far apart. I'm going to end up putting this right down the center to where this sits about like that. And then give it a nice look. Plus give me a little bit of extra, or you know, wood to screw the drywall that goes here onto. So, and then I'll do the top and the sides and this over here, and then start working over here. So, guess I need to get to it. Got my little 2x put in here. Now, I couldn't go exactly in the middle of this section of the wall because it's cut out up here. I forgot about that. So, I brought it over just a little bit. And I don't think that's too bad, though. I don't think it's like so far apart it looks weird. I think once I get the drywall up and each one has its cover, I think it'll be perfect. Well, maybe not perfect, but it'll do. So, now what I'm doing is trying to find some scrap pieces of 2x, like right here, down the wall, and put it about like that. That way when I get this little sheet here, I've got something to come down once I screw it up here and place to put my screws. And then I'll have to take a good 2x4 and run another one from here down all the way to the floor. So my surrounding sheet has got something to anchor to it right here. And I'll have to do another one here as well. And plus that'll give me a even surface back here when I drywall the inside. So I'm gonna get that done. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting the drywall. Well, shoot, I can't cut the drywall because these wires, I'm not gonna undo these light switches because there's 3 wires going to each one, and to get them wired together, it's just above my pay grade. So I'm going to try to get my buddy to come over here and do that. And when he does that, I'll drywall this side. But I am going to go ahead and do this side and do that side. Well, my buddy is extremely busy, and I feel bad trying to ask him to come over and help me with this wiring thing. In case you all don't know, electrical is my biggest weak point. Like, it makes me nervous as all get out to do electrical, but I'm trying to figure it out, and for some reason I cannot wrap my brain around how to wire this stuff. There's something that just I just do not compute. My buddy was telling me something about a jumper wire and do this and do that, and I can't make it click. I don't it's really aggravating. But I'm trying to figure it out. I know this is my main hot. And then I got, So, I'm going to struggle with this for a while. This is probably an all-day thing for me. But here's a prime example, guys. Some of you all just kind of assume that I've got experience in a lot of the things that I do. And I promise, a lot of the stuff that I do, I've never done it before. I just jump in and start figuring it out. That means you can do it too. Now, when it comes to like electrical, be extremely super duper careful. So, to me, this might as well just be magic to me, because I just can't wrap my head around it. My cat's over looking at me like, what are you doing, fool? What an evening. I've spent, I don't know, I guess it was 3:30, 4 o'clock trying to deal with this, and now it's like 11:45. I just now got it working with the help of my buddy at Paintworks. There's that one. That light switch works, and this light switch works. Just something about electrical when it comes to this kind of stuff, I struggle, man. I just can't wrap my brain around some of this stuff. We sit here and text back and forth, and here if I got it on paper, it's easier for me to understand and see it. So here I'm drawing out schematics on how the wires are supposed to go. Like, I'll do it one time, and my buddy will look at, no, you did this, and this wrong. So I'll go back and rewrite it again, and blah, blah, blah. And finally, I got it. And there we go. And you can see I put up some more drywall here. Got my boxes in. And just got to cut this piece to go up here. I'm going to have to do some figuring on this right here. Oh, that light went out. I don't know if it's because my wiring sucks or I just had a light bulb go out. But either way, this right here is not really good where I want it. And I still got some more screws to put in, so I have to figure out what's going on here. Goodness. It's the next morning, and you can see I got my switches. I got my top piece of drywall hung just now. I need to go back, and I've got some trimming to do on this edge here because it's sticking out just a little bit too far. I'll get her trimmed down, and everything should be just dandy. If you can see, I got lights, yo. Cool. Now, this light here eventually is going to end up inside my pantry. So, which would be pretty cool because I'm going to get the, I don't know if you've seen those, the track lighting kits that you can get. You've got one bar, I don't know, I think they're 3 or 4 foot long, and there's 3 or 4 lights on this track that can be changed in position, and that way I can have like lighting placed exactly where I want it without having to run any extra lines and stuff like that. Plus I also have this fixture here that I can do something with, but who knows. So cool, man. Now tell me, what would you rather have? This old crappy thing or that? I'm willing to bet you're going to go with that. Plus these are just so, I don't know what you call them. I don't know if any of you all have ever seen these type of outlets. I call them mobile home outlets, but they also put them in like RVs and stuff. But you can see how the wires, you separate your black hot, your ground, and your neutral wire on both ends, and it just presses in here. And then you've got this piece, you know, the back piece that snaps on top of it like that, and it just presses together. I've probably got it on upside down, but you see what I'm saying. They're just not good. I mean, maybe, you know, in the day they were good, but they just don't make me happy. And that's basically how the outlet goes together. And you get your wires. It's honestly crap. Oh yeah, so remember to please like and subscribe to the channel. And remember, every time you like a video and subscribe, you help feed a kitty and a dog. Because I know you don't want these animals here to go without any goodies. So please like and subscribe. Looky, somebody's got a drywall pantry. Now, I haven't done the inside yet. That'd be at a later date. But I think in the last couple of days I got quite a bit done. I got the drywall in the pantry, got my outlets replaced. So yeah, found out I had another problem. That's awesome. Now, when I start working over here, I'm going to take this layer of bubble foil off, because I totally wasn't thinking when I put it up here. I got to put boxes in and do the wiring and stuff. I just think it'd make it a lot easier to do it. And so yeah. Anyways, folks, like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. And remember, it helps feed animals. So yeah, if y'all have any suggestions, comments, leave them below. And so I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Now, one more thing, I posted another video on my cooking channel, the Redneck Cooker. So if you would, I'll have a link to that below in the description. Please go check it out. I guess now I got to put all this video together and edit it. So I'll see you all in the next video.